Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. This one's gonna be just short, sweet. I'm just asking you guys what I should do. I've got the dump truck here done to where I can go use it, scrap. There's still things to be done to it, but we can come back and do it later. Right now, it can work, it can drive, it's doing great. I wanna see what you guys think to do for the next little project. I've got quite a few different things to do, and I'm gonna build a deck at some point towards the end of the summer. I'm going to get my boat going. Those are just videos that are gonna happen when they're in between doing a bigger actual car project. Right now, I don't know if I'm gonna go on down to Tucson this year. We just got back from a week-long trip down to Alabama. There'll be a video on that coming up. Didn't drive any cool cars. We drove my Cruise down, but it was our first family vacation, so we recorded a lot of it and took a lot of pictures, and so I'll show you guys what we saw and see what you guys think about the trip. The big thing that I want to do is figure out what car or truck to do next. The thing with that is I've done a lot of trucks. I mean, most of the content on the channel has been trucks. I have a couple different cars to choose from. I know which one I'm leaning towards, but I want to do it and put a poll up and see what you guys think. The first one here is we can do more work on my Firebird. It's a 78 Firebird. It has a small block Chevy in it right now. I have a video on here of me putting the engine in this from my orange truck, which was the engine from this. So the engine came out of this, went into the orange truck back into this, and it was all done because I needed something to drive and the truck needed something to drive. So it did that. But the project for this would be painting it, finishing the interior, or redoing the interior pieces that needs to be done, which isn't a whole lot, but it would be making this a super nice car and putting an all aluminum 5.3 LS motor in it with the 4-speed and everything, and making this the exact car that I want. That'll be stop pulling this car apart though, and it's gonna be apart for a while, but right now I can just get in it and drive it. So I don't want to tear this one apart quite yet, but I will. I will start this and we can do the motor, which I'll show you that here in a second. But that would be the plans with this. I have an EFI setup for it. It would be EFI 5.3 with the 4-speed that's already in the car, painted and everything. It'd look just like this. I want the same color. I love the color. I love the fact that it's a bare bones factory 4-speed car. But I would remove things like this. This is not supposed to be here. These cars came factory with the antennas in the windshields. And the cool thing about this car is, if you look at this, which is broken, factory windshield, there's no antenna running up the middle of the windshield. That's because this car didn't come factory with the radio. It was a radio delete car, AC delete car, so there was no air conditioning, there was no radio. It was a 4-speed V8 car, which to me is extremely cool that was a factory 4-speed V8 car. It was literally the cheapest one you could purchase at the time. Things I'd do is I'd put drip rails on it. Drip rails would go on it. I'd get rid of the side moldings. It wouldn't have the side moldings at all. I'd keep the wheels. We'll lower the back and put bigger tires on the back. Right now it's supposed to have 1-inch lowering springs, because it's all new springs all the way around on this car, but the rear still sits up like a dump truck. So I think I'd put 1-inch lowering blocks back on it with the Caltrax, and then I'd get a bigger tire, and I think that would fill the wheel well and it would sit exactly the way I want. And I would have a plan for this engine that's in this car, and I'll show you that in a second. Let me go out front here and show you some other potential options here. Of course, we have the crew cab, and there's a lot I want to do on it. You know, the chassis, the truck that I got that cab off of, well, it was a 4-speed dually with a dually bed and everything. I want to take the 4-speed from that, make this a manual transmission, so it'd be a big block 4-speed. I want to put the dually rear end underneath it and put the dually bed on it. And then I'd like to make it nice. I would actually like to fix the holes in the floor, finish the AC system, because I have a vintage air system in it. It's just not finished. But again, this would be a longer project, and it's a truck. I've done it a lot, and again, this one drives. I can just get in this one, fire it up, hook up my trailer, and go drive it. So I'm leery on ripping this one apart yet, until well, I guess I do have another truck to drive. I can I can use the dump truck to pull my trailers, so I guess I do have something else I can drive. But so there's that one. That would be that project, which would be awesome. I set out when I got that truck to get a dually crew cab, and now I have the chance to make it, so that would be a big endeavor. And then we have this 77 Ventura that Harper really likes. It has a big block in it, but it is, well, if I can kick the hood open, there we go. But it is literally just shoehorned in there. It doesn't have any exhaust. It is, the motor needs to come back out. The oil pan's still the truck oil pan. It's sitting so low that it's basically sitting on the dirt. It would have never worked inside this at all. No possible way. But it is in it poorly. It's got broken exhaust manifold bolts. I don't know why you would put the engine in when it has broken exhaust manifold bolts, because there is next to no way of getting in here to drill them out. It's also missing a head bolt, and so I don't trust that this isn't going to need just gone through altogether. So I was going to use the small block that came out of the dually because it ran great, and hook it up and put it inside, put it in this, and just make a good driver out of it for Harper. But he does have another little car to drive, and so this one might get turned into a drag car. That was my original intent, was put a big block in it and make it a drag and drive type thing. But it kind of changed whenever he showed a lot of interest in the car and liking it. But the goal would be just to get this back driving, go through the brakes, steering, make the sucker run and drive again, because who knows when the last time it was on the road. I don't know if there's any. Nah, the inspection sticker's been pulled off of it. The title's from Kansas. So, I mean, there's no plates or nothing on it. But this one would be a candidate. It's in decent shape. I mean, it's rough, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Okay, it kind of sucks, but it would be a good candidate for a drag and drive type car. They're light, they're fun. It's got slapper bars already on it. I think it actually has subframe connectors on it, to be honest with you. But this would be a lot and need a lot of stuff. But this is an idea of doing something cool like that with this. Would be either just get it back running and see what happens, or doing something more powerful. Have fun with it. That's option number 3, would be the Ventura. The boat you're gonna see, because here in the next week or so, I'm gonna clean that thing up and we're gonna take that out. I'm gonna get it running and drive, and it'll just be like a maintenance video of the boat. I gotta do some maintenance on my big car trailer here. I've driven this thing across the country multiple times. It's got worn out shackle links and stuff like that. It can use some love itself. But this little car is the little car we got for Harper. It runs and drives really nice. It needs some window regulators and stuff in it, but it's what he's gonna drive back and forth to school. It's ugly, but it runs and drives really well. But the window, as you can see, does not stay up. So option number 4 would be this. This is a 52 Chevy Styleline. This one is pretty bare. It's nice. I got this one from my grandparents. Dalton and my dad put it together for them quite a few years ago. They enjoyed it for a little while, and then I ended up getting it from them. It has the 6-cylinder. It runs and drives. The shifter, I can't get to shift for nothing. It's been moved from the column down to a floor shifter, and it's a rough floor shifter. But it does run, drive, stop, everything. It's been tagged. I mean, they've driven it around, but I would need to. Tiffany loves this car, and she wants to be able to cruise this one around. So this one would end up getting the motor from the Firebird that's in it right now. So it'd be a small block Chevy, a 305 Chevy. Has a nice little cam and a good sound to it, but it's nothing crazy powerful. An automatic and a new rear end. So the video on this would be, hi guys. Hi Donner. A penny. Would be a small block Chevy swap with an automatic and a rear end swap, because these have torque tubes. So if you do a drivetrain swap on these, you have to change the rear end, which I think somebody said S10, a certain year S10 rear end is the right width, and even the perches are the right width. So I don't think it's the end of the world to do. But I've never done anything like this before, or worked on anything old. This is the oldest car I've ever had. So it drove on and off the trailer, but I can't drive it here. It's still got the factory 6-volt system in it. So this would be number 4, would be small block Chevy swapping this thing and getting this thing to be a cruiser. That one I would be really interested in. This would be fun. This would be really fun. And then you've got my step side Chevy over here that would be combined with this truck, and this truck would be combined into a short bed step side. This is what I wanted to do, the big block with a 4L80 in it. I really want to do that. I wanted to make this the drag and drive truck. A nice cruiser, steep gears, overdrive transmission, twin turbos. That's my big project, my big thought for this. But again, it's a truck, and I want to lay off the trucks for a little bit. I've done a lot of work on trucks in general lately. As you can see, this one is the parts truck. There's the motor for the Ventura, the transmission, bed, rear end, front suspension, everything for the crew cab. So it sucks that this truck got disintegrated and taken apart, but it's not going to waste. It has gonna have like 3 different trucks or 3 different vehicles making them alive. So I don't feel bad, because it's all getting used, and there's 3 different vehicles on the road running because of that one vehicle. Back to this. So I want to do this one. It's rough, but it is a decent bed, and the cab's destroyed. There's no title for it. It's got a 6-cylinder in it, but I want to pull the cab off of it. That cab's in pretty good shape, besides some rocker rot. The floors are in great shape. It's got a great title in my name. And take that front end, everything, and just go bloop right down on top of that. But again, that would be cleaning it up and doing a bunch of stuff that I've already done. My personal pick is getting my 1966 Ford Fairlane 500 station wagon back driving. I've had this car for a very long time. My dad bought it. It had a pretty healthy motor in it. C6 posi rear end with I think like 411s or 4. I think they were 411s, but it was an 8-inch rear end. They drove it for a long time. They tracked it, and I want to say it was like mid-13s. It wasn't like crazy fast, but it was pretty peppy. It ran really, really well. It had a 351 in it and a C6, and the cam went flat in that motor after it got drove a long, long time. But the cam went flat in it. I changed the cam, but I didn't pull the engine out to try to flush all the metal out of it. I flushed it the best I could. I clearly didn't get it well enough, because... You comfortable? Good. But I clearly didn't flush it well enough, because not long after that I went and drove it and was getting on the highway, Dalton and I, and wrapped it out, spun a rod bearing in it. So that motor came out, and I put a motor, just a stock engine, stock 351 from a pickup truck, back into it, and I drove it for a while that way. It was gutless. It had 411 gears, but it was still made a lot of noise, but didn't go very fast. Then the transmission went out in my Dodge pickup truck. Who would have thought that? 94 Dodge Ram. So I needed a truck, so I had to pull the motor back out of this, put it back in the Ford, and I drove the Ford for quite a while. And then this has just been sitting since. And right before I decided to pull the motor on it, I decided to do one last hurrah burnout in it, and the rear end had been leaking, and I figured it was just the seal, like it needed to have the pinion, the pumpkin pulled out and resealed. But no, I stalled it up, and the housing was actually cracked, and it shattered the rear end and launched the drive shaft out from underneath it, sitting in my driveway. So it needs rear end. I have the transmission. I have a 408 stroker for it. It is full of parts. I have no idea what's in it. I have not looked at it. I have not dug out anything in it for 10 plus years. It's moved around. It's been sitting sad like this for quite a while. So my pick is either this or the 52. And if they can be done in time, I might take whichever one we decide to do on the Tucson tour, the poverty tour with you guys. So if you guys haven't seen that, go over to Dalton's channel and look it up. He's doing the poverty tour, getting a bunch of people to go to drive down to Tucson. So my picks are between this and this, but that's my pick. Let me know what you guys want, what you guys think, because I'll do whatever everyone chooses. But I want to see the old wagon driving again, and with a 408 stroker in it and stuff, it should be pretty hefty, and it should have some pretty good ass behind it. It should be a pretty fun drive. But that's where I'm in this one. Quick little one, just going through options for cars and next project. But thank you guys for watching. Grab some merchandise at jcsprojectsmerch.com. Hats, some t-shirts, some stickers. All of it helps. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.